Hey y'all, what's up? It's Bella back with another video. I'm going to be talking all about Ramadan in this video, and I just want to give a disclaimer. I am not Muslim. I'm an American, a Westerner living in a Muslim country, so I'll be speaking on it from my point of view, from a Westerner's point of view. And Ramadan just ended last week, so I wanted it to completely be done and over. I wanted to experience a full Ramadan here before I spoke on it so that I could actually experience it. I could see exactly what goes on, what to do, what not to do, and kind of just take it all in before I speak on it. But this video is not for you to learn about Ramadan. There's so many videos up here on YouTube where Muslims are telling the ins and outs, and it's best to learn from somebody who is actually Muslim in that religion that can speak to it way better than I can. This is, like I said, just an American, Westerner's point of view. A lot of people ask me what to expect during Ramadan. How can I dress? What can I do? What can I not to do? Is everything closed? And I know a lot of people have a lot of questions. So if you plan to live here during Ramadan, or you're going to come visit during a Ramadan, or thinking about it, this is definitely the video for you because I'll be speaking on it from a more touristy standpoint and point of view. Gonna be a really intimate video. I'm sitting on my bed in a robe, as you see, but I just wanted to get this out and wanted to go ahead and record it while it's fresh. Like I said, it just ended last week, so don't want to forget anything. But let's just jump into the video. So Ramadan, what is Ramadan? Ramadan is a month of praying and fasting that Muslims partake in every single year. And it's to get closer to Allah, to just cleanse their body, spirit, mind, and to really focus on praying and letting go of the worldly distractions, as I would say. There's probably a better definition. Google is free, but that kind of sums it up, or at least from my point of view. Muslims, if you're watching this video, feel free to comment and add anything that I forget. Don't want to be disrespectful in any way. So during Ramadan, and like I said, it's about a month long. This year, it went from I think March 22nd to April 22nd. So exactly 30 days. That changes depending on the moon. They start Ramadan when they see a specific crescent moon, as I was told, and as well as when it ends, it also is dependent on the moon. So those dates change year over year. It's not always the same, but essentially it's always about a month long. And during Ramadan, for the most part, the country shuts down. I mean, no alcohol at all. So nowhere will you be able to be served alcohol, at least in Bahrain. We'll talk about Dubai in a minute because I did visit Dubai twice during the Ramadan this year. So I think that it's a little bit different because Dubai caters more towards tourists. But in Bahrain, speaking, there's no alcohol at all, no music publicly at all. So no clubs, no bars, no lounges will be playing any type of music or serving any type of alcohol. Neither do Muslims partake in either of those two during the Ramadan season. You want to dress super, super conservative. So more conservative than on your normal day. You cannot show your knees. So skirts and pants need to come down longer than your knees. In shorts, even for the guys, needs to cover their knees. For the women, you do not want to show any of your shoulders at all. So making sure that you have on a complete shirt, long sleeve. It doesn't have to be long sleeve. It could be short sleeve, but it doesn't need to be any type of spaghetti straps or any type of crop tops or tube tops. Anything that's showing skin is completely not okay during Ramadan. Again, it's a very holy month, so you want to make sure that you're being respectful of the culture. Also, because they are fasting from sun up to sundown, there's no eating in public whatsoever. Even if you're not Muslim, you cannot eat in public. And it's not really hard to remember because all restaurants are closed during the hours of no eating. So during daylight hours, all restaurants are closed except for takeout. You cannot sit inside of any restaurant at all, just to make sure that you're not eating in public. So no eating, no drinking in public, not even water. You cannot drink anything in public. No music out loud in public. No chewing. So that even considers chewing gum. No chewing gum in public at all. No smoking. So no vaping, no smoking, none of that in public until sundown. Um, I'm trying to think about what else. I think those were the main rules. Hold on, let me check my notes. Okay, also no lying, cursing, swearing, fighting, no any of that in public. Really try to again be respectful. So no cursing in public. Also no sexual activity or any type of PDA in public during Ramadan. So no kissing, no holding hands, none of that during Ramadan. I think that for the most part is it. But yeah, so let's just go back over it. So no eating in public, no drinking in public, and that includes water, no chewing, so no gum. Be conservative, no shoulders, no knees, cover most of your body. No smoking in public, no cursing in public, no PDA. I think that covers it for the most part. Okay, so like I said, all clubs, lounges, everything is shut down during the month of Ramadan. Most don't open at all. There are some hookah or shisha, as they call it in the Middle East, lounges that are open after sundown. You can definitely smoke shisha with dinner and just hanging out after the sun is down. But still, again, no alcohol at all in public whatsoever. So during Ramadan, you'll hear a drum. A guy comes around to the neighborhoods and beats a drum around like 1 a.m. ish, 1:32 a.m. ish to kind of wake people up for suhoor. I think that's how you say it, suhoor. So that's the meal that they eat before sunrise. And usually that's around 4 a.m. ish that they eat because sunrise starts to happen around 5 a.m. Hold on, my light just went out. Yes, so they eat before sunrise and then they fast all day long, including water. They don't even drink water. And then they eat again at sundown, which is called iftar. So, iftar is a really big thing during the month of Ramadan. You'll see a lot of restaurants participating in iftars. It'll be like a one price for the entire iftar, which is usually buffet style. And they'll have a bunch of different types of foods, all halal, of course. If you don't know what halal is, look it up. But um, bunch of different foods and it's a celebration and it's a way to come together for families to have family time and enjoy each other, etc. So if you're invited to an iftar, that means that a family is fond of you, they like you, they respect you, and definitely go. It's a great time to get familiar with the culture, to learn about the culture. They're really, really nice and I enjoyed it. I went to a few different iftars during Ramadan this season, so definitely want to partake in that. What else? So there are some people who are exempt from Ramadan, which are elderly, pregnant women, um, people who are poor health or on medication that need to eat. And then also women who are breastfeeding. And then if you do get your menstrual while you're on Ramadan, you are supposed to, while during Ramadan, you are supposed to halt your fasting during your menstrual cycle. For obvious reasons. So that's another thing that I learned during Ramadan. You do not have to fast during your cycle. But that's just fun facts, information, just cool to know. Ramadan is also about doing charity work. So a lot of times people are doing community service, different charities. You're supposed to do an act of kindness daily for someone. So that's another thing beyond fasting and praying, which they do pray 5 times a day, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And you'll hear the prayers go off if you're living in a Muslim country. You are also supposed to give back to the community, which I think is great. I think honestly, all of it is admirable. I try to fast a little bit during Ramadan just because I feel like, if this entire country can shut down and do it, I should be able to partake. We should all be able to do a little bit better, get closer to God or whatever you believe in, and just be a better person overall. It's also really quiet around the country during Ramadan for obvious reasons. People are praying, people are fasting, people are in the house more. So the streets are a lot more clear. If you go to the mall and whatever, they're a lot clearer than they usually are. Um, yeah, that's all I can really say about that. But even if you're American, it doesn't matter. Even if you're not Muslim, you still have to adhere to the Ramadan rules in whatever country you're in. My light just doesn't want to work for me today. So bear with me, y'all. Y'all know I'm cute. But yeah, so let's talk about Ramadan in Dubai. So like I said earlier in this video, I did visit Dubai twice during Ramadan this year. Um, And it was very interesting to see the difference because obviously Bahrain and Dubai are both Muslim countries that are both celebrating Ramadan at the same time. But Dubai definitely caters a lot more to tourists. Dubai is a tourist location, a tourist hotspot. And excuse me, you can 100% tell. So one thing that was different is the dressing. People were not conservative in Dubai for Ramadan. At least Americans, tourists, Westerners were not conservative. You could go to clubs. It wasn't technically legal, I would say. Technically, the clubs were still supposed to be closed, no loud music, no alcohol. It was very invite only, but there were still clubs, underground clubs. You just kind of have to know people, talk to people. But if you stay at a tourist hotel, there are still clubs that are definitely open. I went to a few clubs during Ramadan in Dubai that were 100% open, serving alcohol, bottle service, like nothing ever happened. Also, if you go to hotels, the bars are still open as well during Ramadan. Again, they are catering towards their tourists and towards their guests, so they don't close the bars down. There's many bars in every hotel room, unless you ask them to remove it because you are partaking in Ramadan. You will have a mini bar in your hotel as well. You can still eat in public. So, not everywhere, but a lot of the hotels, the pools, the beaches, again, places that are catered towards tourists, you could eat in public. So it was almost as if Ramadan wasn't happening, and the tourists and Americans, and not just Americans though, because there was people from London, Africa, tourists in general were kind of in their own bubble during Ramadan, but you wouldn't see Muslims out until the nighttime. Um, and I would say if you're gonna go visit Dubai during Ramadan, just make sure that you want to party and you want to still feel like you're getting a Dubai experience, make sure you stay at a hotel that's very central to the city. Make sure you stay at a hotel that's catered to tourists. Make sure you stay at a hotel that has a hotel bar. I would recommend a hotel that has its own pool parties. Private beaches is even better. So one that I would recommend is the Five Palms Jumeirah. That's where I stayed at when I went there twice during Ramadan, and both times the bar was open, the beach was open, the pools were open, the restaurants were open. I mean, it was almost, they had hookah, they had shisha, whatever you want to call it, all day, sun up to sundown. It was almost as if Ramadan wasn't going on. So if you are a tourist, definitely stay at a hotel like that or in hotels of that area, because you won't really feel like the country is closed. If not, you're not going to have the same experience as you would have outside of Ramadan. You can still wear bathing suits. People were going to the clubs in regular club outfits. Like it was almost, again, like as if it was its own world. So you don't have to worry about that. Another thing during Ramadan, there's a bunch of different festivals, a lot around iftar as well. They have like more like festival. It's just really fun. I mean, they do make it fun. So if you can go to a festival, go to one. There's one a festival I think around the 14th or 15th day of Ramadan called Gregorn. I don't know. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. I'm butchering it. Let me see. The name of it is one second. Gregoon. Gurgon? Something like that, but look it up. But it's a festival where kids dress up in traditional wear. They will go around, they collect candy, um, and yeah, they celebrate the season of Ramadan. So definitely, um, if you can partake in one of those, they have music, activities, gifts, sweets. Dates are a huge thing during Ramadan, songs, whatever. So definitely experience the festival if possible. But overall, it's definitely an eye-opening experience. It's very admirable to see the dedication during Ramadan. It's I would suggest anyone come experience it for themselves. You can read about it, but it's different when you see it firsthand. I knew about Ramadan before moving here, but had never actually done a lot of research on it, so I learned quite a bit. Another thing that I would say is airport. So when traveling, you cannot eat in the airport in Bahrain at all during Ramadan. Those rules still apply. All of the restaurants, including Starbucks, coffee shops, everything were still closed during the day for Ramadan. So be prepared to not eat in the airport. However, again, in Dubai, very different. All of the restaurants were open. people were eating out in public in the airport. So I think that it's just a situation where it's all dependent on the country that you're visiting. Do research on the rules there and what to expect. But touristy countries, as I've mentioned, like Dubai, they do seem to cater a little bit more towards the tourists. So there was food available. I will say, the first time I flew through Bahrain airport during Ramadan, I was flying business class. So I flew in I visited the Pearl Lounge, which is the lounge. If you're flying business class or first class, you can go sit in that lounge because there's no Emirates lounge in the Bahrain airport. They did have a full buffet of food as well as drinks, even during the day. So you could eat in the lounge during Ramadan. You just couldn't eat out in public or in like the common areas during Ramadan. And they kind of had it separated for Muslims from non-Muslims for the people who were fasting. And they just didn't serve any alcohol in the lounge. So you could get juices, sodas, but the bar itself was closed. And at the most of the time when you go to a lounge, it's all you can drink. That was not the case during Ramadan. So that was something else I did want to point out. And then also food on the plane. So like I said, I sat in business class on Emirates. So they did serve the meals on the plane during the flight, even though it was during fasting hours. So they had these little stickers that they would put on certain people's seats if they were fasting, so that the flight attendant knew not to put any food on their trays. And then if you were not fasting, you absolutely could still have your meal in flight during Ramadan hours, even though Emirates is a Muslim airline. They still did serve food on the plane. So that was also interesting to see. And I thought I should point that out for sure. Also, I mentioned this a little bit before, but I learned about dates. If you don't know what a date is, I don't know how to explain it, but most of the time their fasts are broken with dates and waters. And I learned that the Prophet Muhammad used to break his fast with dates and water, so it's become a tradition. And if you go to any iftar, you'll pretty much see on the table before the sun even goes down and it's time to break fast, there will already be dates and water sitting out at the tables, because that's just a tradition as to what they use to initially break their fast before eating a full meal. So definitely interesting as well. I had never tried a date before moving to the Middle East, but they're not bad at all. They're just different, kind of like a raisin a little bit. I don't really know if you want to, yeah, just taste it if you've never had it before. And lastly, most businesses have shorter hours during Ramadan, so they're like open from like 8 a.m. to like 2 p.m. and government offices as well. And then most shops and restaurants, like I mentioned before, a lot of them don't open until after sundown. So their hours are also different during Ramadan. Instead of being open during the day, they're open later at nighttime. So that's another thing I would say. If you want to go out to eat during Ramadan, or you want to make a food reservation, or you want to go get a massage, or whatever you want to do, just definitely check with the business of their hours of operation, because they're not usually the same as when Ramadan is not going on. So you don't want to get there and them not open. So that's something else to keep in mind for sure. All right, y'all. So I think that's really it. I wish I had clips, but I really tried to take it in. I didn't do a bunch of recording during Ramadan at all. I watched a lot of sunrises and sunsets. Again, pretty obvious reasons, because it's more meaningful when people are fasting. I did go to Dubai twice, like I said, and maybe I can insert some clips from Dubai, but don't count on it. Just know it was pretty open. It was pretty normal. But one thing I want to say is, I know in my last videos I talked about no one's going to really do anything if you don't adhere to dress code here. Usually it's just a respect thing. During Ramadan, they absolutely can fine you. You can get a ticket if you do not dress appropriately. So that's definitely something to consider and to keep in mind. Be respectful, yes, but also it is against the law here to eat in public and to drink in public and to break Ramadan rules. So definitely don't want to get caught with a fine. Um, and then also, the night before Ramadan, or the days before Ramadan and the days after, are like a celebration. They're a party. So the night before Ramadan, I went out here, y'all, and the clubs, I have never seen it so packed, number one, but people so lit. I'll just leave it at that. Like, people were like, we're going out with a bang. I can't have alcohol. I can't have music for a month. we're going out with a bang. So it was craziness for sure. And then I went out also the day Ramadan broke, or the last day of Ramadan, and fasting was over. And because we're so close to Saudi Arabia, and I'm not sure if a lot of you guys know, but in Saudi Arabia, alcohol is banned. You cannot drink there, but it's drivable distance. So a lot of people from Saudi come over the bridge. They come here to drink, to have fun, to party. And it was craziness. Again, traffic was insane. There was people in the streets, celebrations everywhere. Clubs were packed, and everyone was happy to be back outside. So it's definitely an interesting time to visit another country. I would recommend, just doing your research before you go to any Muslim country during Ramadan for sure. But don't let people steer you away from coming during those times. It's definitely not how it usually is. It's not at full capacity, but it's still a great time to visit. Definitely try to visit a mosque during Ramadan and just take in all the culture, experience everything new. But I definitely enjoyed my first Ramadan. It was a great break, honestly, too, just being able to kind of relax and focus and meditate and pray and just be more centered for sure. But yeah, y'all, that's it. We're at 20 minutes. Sorry about the light going in and out. I really just wanted to get this recorded. Like I said, Ramadan just ended last week, so I didn't want to delay too much. But that's it. That's all. As always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe, so I can continue to give you guys videos. If you want to see any other videos, leave them in the comments. Give me ideas while I'm here. I'm still going to be here for quite a while. So hopefully I can continue to make some content regularly. And if there's anything that I haven't covered or you want to see, let me know. And I definitely got y'all. I'm hoping to get a new camera soon so I can start vlogging because I really guys want you guys to see Bahrain, like experience a brunch with me, experience the club scene with me. It's one thing to talk about it and it's another thing for you guys to see it. So definitely want to get another camera because my iPhone is full, y'all. I have like 40,000 pictures on my iPhone. It's insane. So I can't really record much on here. I'm recording this video right now on my MacBook because I don't have any other choice. So if there's something that you want to see or you want to know, let me know. But I think I'm going to just start doing some vlogs of my life here, going to Dubai. My best friend will be back in town next week for her birthday. She was just here in March for a full 3 weeks and she loved it. So she's coming back. But I'll definitely try to vlog some of her birthday trip. We're going to go to Dubai during that as well. But that's it. That's all. Love you guys always.